Hey guys, today I thought I'd just kind of run through the process of how I managed to score myself a full-time salaried position straight out of university. So my name's Sarah, if you're new to the channel, it's nice to meet you. So basically I went to Adelaide University. I graduated in 2019 with 2 degrees. I did a double degree in a Bachelor of Science with 2 majors in Chemistry and Pharmacology and a Bachelor of Arts with a major in Criminology. So yeah, just to give you a rundown of like how my degree kind of worked, I originally enrolled in university in just a Bachelor of Science. My goal is to eventually go into forensic science, especially into toxicology. But yeah, after my first year in science, I realized that having just a science degree may not be enough to get into that field. So I did a little bit of research and did a bit of a Google and looked at some people who have the kind of jobs that I want to go into and found that criminology is a really useful thing to have. So I spoke to the faculty and I spoke to the university, and we transferred me from just a single Bachelor of Science into a double degree with arts. At my university, it's going to be different for every university, but criminology is classified as a humanities subject at Adelaide Uni, so I had to do an arts degree to get a major in criminology. The degree is meant to be 4 years, but because of how I'd already done 1 year of science and it was all a bit of a mess because I transferred mid-year, it kind of messed everything up. It actually took me 5 years. So I graduated November 2019, but of course that's exactly when COVID hit. So my actual graduation was April or May of 2020. So yeah, it was like almost 6 months later I actually got to do the whole like gown and cap and sitting in a ceremony. I just wanted to give people a little bit of help. I know a lot of people, even people in my years, in my degrees, some of them still haven't got jobs in the industries that we studied for. But I'm just gonna give people kind of some tips of like how I managed to make myself stand out a bit in like the job searching realm. The first thing is to take as many opportunities in your degree as you can. So the one thing that I do regret not doing during my degree is going overseas and doing exchange. So definitely, if you get the chance to do that, definitely take that chance. If I had my time again, I would definitely do that, but it's just not something that I got around to. I was too busy, not motivated enough, all of those things. What I did do was I had a look through the university and what was available to students at the time, and I found what they call a summer scholarship, which was you apply and you get the chance to work with honours and PhD students on research. I know it's a bit specific to the science area, but I'm sure there's similar things in other areas as well. I applied and I was accepted, and I did over the summer break, over Christmas, I worked with a PhD student and we were studying selenite and selenate toxicity on liver cells. So yeah, I spent 6 months, almost 6 months doing that. There was a bit of pay for that. It's not always the case, but if you're interested in the subject, it won't matter to you anyway. Like, it's not very much money. I also made some really good connections doing that. I still have lecturers and scholars from the university that I would still go to for help and to form new networking connections. Definitely an opportunity that I would recommend to people. The other thing that I did was in my final year at university, I took an internship, which of course, like all internships, is unpaid. So I was working with SAHMRI, which is the South Australian Health and Medical Research Institute. Again, I was working with some cancer type cells, and a lot of it is just like admin, computer work. They tend to find that university students can handle computer and Excel and data collating a lot better than the kind of middle-aged scientists can, so we get handballed all the kind of computer work, which I don't mind. I actually find it really satisfying to do all that kind of like organizational stuff anyway. But yeah, so I did that for 6 months, and that counted as a credit towards my degree in the end as well. So not only did it look good on my resume, but it gave me units, so I didn't have to do one course that I otherwise would have had to do. I was taught lots of hands-on stuff in that internship, which was really handy, like especially working with actual real human cells and like tissue, which is something you don't really get to do a lot in university. Another one for networking, definitely have a few people in my, especially LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, get a LinkedIn. It's a great way to make network connections and just to kind of keep in touch with people who you're probably not going to see very often because they are academics, they're scientists, they have real jobs and real lives. Internships, definitely a great opportunity. Scholarships, if your university offers them. All universities will have some kind of opportunities for you. You've just got to go looking for them. A lot of the time they're not very well advertised. So one more thing that I would recommend is volunteering. So I have done quite a bit of volunteering throughout my life. I was in the fire service where I grew up as a child out in the country. I started off as a cadet at 11 years old and just stayed with the fire service all through my teenage years. I was 21 when I received my 10-year service medal. It's also a great thing to have knowledge on, like just fire safety. But that's something that I was really passionate about through my teenage years. I also have been involved in lots of sporting clubs. Most Australian kids will be involved in sports at some time in their life. So just doing that little bit extra, doing some volunteering. I did some coaching. When I was in high school, I coached a local netball team, which was a great experience. It's a lot of fun and you get to meet new people and learn new skills, like just team leadership kind of skills and all of that. And then through uni, I also was involved in a cheerleading team, which I'm still involved in now. That was just another way to show that I have done volunteering, have experience in leading people, leading children, being able to give directions, all of those little like soft skills that you can kind of put on your resume. So yeah, those are a few things that I would like recommend you do just to kind of make yourself stand out a bit from the other applicants that are going to be going for the same jobs that you are, because it's competitive out there. No matter what field you're going into, there's a lot more applicants than there are jobs at the moment, so you've got to kind of find your way to stand out. I'll give you a little bit of a run through about my job application process. So as I said, I graduated in 2019, so about midway through 2019 I started looking on Seek and all other job provider sites, all those kind of things, just to get an idea of what was out there. Even though I wasn't going to graduate my degree until the end of the year, I still just wanted to get an idea of what was available, what kind of salaries they were. In about August, I think, I actually started physically applying for jobs. So I basically typed in scientist into Seek and applied for anything that I thought that I was even remotely qualified for. I think that's one thing that you've got to keep in mind when you're applying for your first job fresh out of uni, is that you can't be picky. You can't pick and choose what you're going to go for. I was applying for things like phlebotomist positions at ClinPath, even though you need specific qualifications for that. I figured, like, I've done chemistry, I've done biology. If it's something I can learn on the job, I'm willing to do that. I applied for all kinds of lab technician positions, anything that was even remotely related to the degree that I had done. I was willing to do any job as long as it was science-based, because it's just another thing that you can put on your resume for your next job. I applied for, I think, about 40 jobs in the end. I had customized cover letters for every single job application I did. I was even applying for things like lab tech in schools, like all sorts of anything that, even if it's not science or research, if that's what you're wanting to do, anything that's kind of based in the industry is at least a stepping stone. And if I felt like I could do something to stand out, I would even customize my resume for each application. If it wasn't necessary for all of them. In some cases, like working with schools and stuff, I really highlighted like that I'd worked with children before and that I'd been involved in sporting clubs and all of those things that kind of just gave me a little bit of an edge. So the main thing with the job application process is you have to be persistent. You are going to get rejection letters. You are probably going to get tens, if not hundreds, of rejection letters. It doesn't mean that you're not good. It means that there was someone better. That's all there is to it. Don't take it personally. Another thing is you can ask for feedback from a job that you've applied for. So if you are to receive a rejection letter, don't be afraid to reply to the letter and just say, hey, thank you for letting me know. Also, is there anything that you could any feedback that you could give me to improve for next time? Anything just simple like that. It can tend to feel like robotic trying to get into corporate world, but at the end of the day, it's just another person working a full-time job. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it, or feedback if they can provide it. So then a little bit about how I got my specific job. It was advertised on a job site. I had seen it and taken about half an hour to an hour to customize my cover letter and just check that my resume was how I felt it needed to be for this job. And I applied. It was about a fortnight before I heard back from them. I actually had applied for this job in about late September, October of 2019. About 2 weeks later, I heard back from them and they asked for a phone interview. So that was scheduled for early October. At this point, I was still in my last semester of university as well. So they organised that and I got through the phone interview. From there, I was asked to do a face-to-face interview. That was just a 2-on-1 kind of interview process, which can be a bit daunting at sometimes, but just kind of take the time to prepare yourself, have a think about what they could ask you. All job interviews are kind of the same. Why do you want the job? What skills do you have? What experience do you have? And like, what can you bring to this team? Don't be afraid to ask them questions. As much as they are looking for a position to be filled, you're also looking for a position that fits you. So don't be afraid to ask things about wages, flexibility, all of those kind of things, work-life balance, workload, anything that you feel like is necessary that you would like to know. It's just being sensible. You need to know these things if this is going to be the place that you're spending 38 plus hours a week of your life. After this, I received a phone call saying that I was a successful applicant and that they would like me to go through a medical and a physical. So that was all booked in and I got all that sorted. And I actually was given my contract to sign the end of November, start of December, and I started on December 12th of 2019. I actually didn't finish my final exams for university until December 20th. So I received my job offer a week or so before I actually finished my degree, which is incredibly unusual and I'm very lucky. I think also preparing myself and starting early gave me that kind of edge on some people that I know didn't even start to apply for jobs until after they had graduated in the December of that year. So if you think about it, if I started in August and I got my job in November, December, if they're only starting in December, then I've got like a 4 or 5 month head start on them. Definitely get in early. Don't think about it like, oh, I'm not qualified yet because I'm not finished, so I don't have anything to offer, because that's just not true. They're not going to want to miss out on the opportunity to employ you if you have all of the skills but you're just not yet finished your degree. It's not going to be something that holds them back from employing you. I've actually worked at this company for, this is my I'm going into my 3rd year working at this company. It's been a great company for me so far. They've treated me really well and they've looked after me. Yeah, so very thankful and grateful that I was given the opportunity, but definitely feel like using the tips that I've told you in this video, you can definitely set yourself up for the best possible chance of receiving similar opportunities. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.